Welcome. My name is Jeff Page, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and group facilitator in Austin, Texas. And this video contains an introduction to a form of therapy called process group therapy. I'm going to answer several questions, namely, what is a process group? What is it like? What are some of the benefits of doing process group therapy? Who can benefit? How does it work? Are there any risks? And how can I learn more? So let's dive in. So, what is process group therapy? Well, it's a form of therapy done in a group setting where members explore themselves and work toward their goals in an experiential format. The structure and composition can vary, but typically these groups have between 4 and 15 people of all ages and genders, meeting on a weekly basis for over an hour. While it's very common for these groups to have just one therapist leader, it's also very common for them to have 2 co-leaders. And sometimes these groups do meet for only a predetermined number of sessions, but it's more typical for these groups to be open-ended, meaning there's no set end date, and members can stay as long as they need to reach their goals. So, what's it like? Well, initially, members begin talking about their lives, their interests, struggles, family, friends, careers, relationships. Anything can and does get talked about. But there's an emphasis on placing our awareness on the present moment experience. Members are asked to make a consistent effort to place their awareness on any feelings, perceptions, associations, desires, fantasies, and to be willing to share and explore what they notice with the other members of the group, especially about the other members of the group. I'll elaborate more on the purpose of this in a later section of the video, but for now, let's take a look at some of the potential benefits of process group therapy. So, what are some of the benefits? For people with goals in the interpersonal realm, process group therapy provides a way to quickly and affordably make progress toward those goals, either as a standalone practice or as an adjunct to individual or couples therapy. If your relationships are a source of stress or dissatisfaction, process group therapy can help you learn how to build emotional awareness of yourself and others. Use emotion as a tool for further understanding yourself. Give and receive feedback effectively. Identify and negotiate boundaries. Safely express feelings of frustration and anger. Identify and move past barriers to intimacy and vulnerability. Engage in conflict constructively. Rebuild trust after rupture. I believe everyone can benefit from process group therapy. More specifically, this kind of therapy can help with any concerns that have a relational or social component, like social anxiety, codependency, people-pleasing, emotional withholding or social withdrawal, avoiding conflict or difficult conversations, anger outbursts, impulsivity, fears of abandonment or rejection, fears of being criticized or judged by others, attachment difficulties, relational trauma. Group therapy can also help with and alleviate more general concerns like anxiety, depression, chronic irritability, isolation and loneliness, as well as boredom, or just a sense that life has lost its depth and meaning. People who leave group therapy often talk about having increased confidence in social settings. They feel more freedom to speak publicly and to take social risks, like making jokes and asking people on dates. They talk about having increased self-esteem, feeling more comfortable asking for things that they need and want in relationships. They have more confidence in their ability to connect and find meaning in social interactions, even during superficial conversations. They notice increased comfort in giving and accepting compliments. And they reconnect with their sense of self-worth, knowing deep down that they have something worthwhile to contribute. So, how does it work? Well, there are a number of theories that explain how group therapy works, and there's plenty of research supporting its efficacy as a treatment model. To cover all of that would be beyond the scope of this video. So, I'm going to touch on a few key concepts and pair them with an example. Let's get started.
Meet Joe. Joe is in his mid-30s, and he has a lot of ideas and thoughts about the world to share. But he notices that in many situations, he refrains from doing so, and instead withdraws, remaining silent. Joe has explored this with his individual therapist, and has figured out that he is convinced that no one likes him. And instead of getting rejected or ignored, he isolates himself. These anxieties, over time, have left Joe feeling lonely and unsatisfied with the relationships that he does have.
For the first concept that we'll explore, let's bring back something mentioned earlier in the video. The request that members make a consistent effort to place their awareness on the present moment experience. So, why is this important? Though it may not seem like it, most of us don't respond to the present moment as if it's a brand new moment. We respond as if we already know what's going to happen. Through a complex construct of feelings, thoughts, sensations, memories, our responses follow a pattern that we have enacted many times over the course of many relationships. And by placing our focus on the present moment experience, we have the potential to reveal those patterns. In process group therapy, we work from the stance that how you relate to other members of the group will, in some way, represent how you relate to people in the real world. And by placing our focus on the present moment experience, we have the potential to reveal those patterns.
When Joe initially enters the group, he remains quiet and participates very tentatively. By focusing on the present moment experience, Joe shares his expectation with the group that no one will like him, beginning the process of revealing his patterns. The group validates this. Some members even share that they have felt similarly when joining the group.
By placing our focus on the present moment experience, this reenactment provides the opportunity to study and explore the relational behavior as it's unfolding, building even more awareness around the issue. Let's continue.
Joe talks to his individual therapist about his concerns. He describes how he wants to talk to his girlfriend about several things, but is afraid she'll break it off if they don't see eye to eye. He mentions how he wants to share some ideas with his family, but is afraid they're going to criticize him. Joe feels stuck, paralyzed to do anything different.
One explanation for this might be that the stakes feel too high. In these situations, the leap of faith required to try something new feels too vast, the consequences too dire. And unfortunately, there's no way to overcome a fear by avoiding what is feared, and so we're stuck. This is where process group therapy can serve as a stepping stone between where you are now and where you want to go. In a process group, the stakes feel much lower. You're in an environment where other people are invested in your growth and your progress, and you can overcome that fear bit by bit instead of all at once. Let's return to our example.
As a sense of safety and trust develops in the group, Joe begins to reveal more and more about his internal world, sharing feelings and thoughts more spontaneously. And as he does so, he begins to sense that other members are avoiding him and starts to feel like they really don't like him. This is different than before, when he could tell himself that it was all in his head because the group didn't know him yet.
This leads us to the next concept. Underlying processes supporting the relational patterns are unveiled. Consistent efforts to place our awareness on the present moment experience, openly sharing feelings, thoughts, sensations, and associations as they arise, will unveil the subconscious processes supporting the relational patterns that someone is stuck in.
Joe receives feedback that he never seems to have anything positive to say about the others in the group, that his comments seem insensitive, inconsiderate, and they can't seem to help but not like him, that it's almost like he trained them to not like him. This feedback is shocking to Joe because he genuinely likes many of the group members. Joe began to realize his role in creating the very reality he expected from the beginning. Now Joe has new aspects of this to explore. For example, why he withholds the positive feelings he does have toward group members. With this new information at hand, Joe considers trying to relate in a new way in group.
This brings us to the next concept. When it comes to social behavior, we all learn through a complex process that in part involved trial and error. But for the most part, later in life, for a host of reasons, we don't feel comfortable trying new behaviors in the real world. Not to mention the fact that ideally the trial and error process involves a feedback process. We try something new and have the opportunity to observe the consequences. But in the real world, all too often, that vital information evades us. Be they acquaintances, coworkers, friends, family. Most of our relationships don't involve a culture of honest, attuned feedback. More commonly, our friends and acquaintances are likely to avoid conversations that seem difficult or involve feedback. This is where group therapy can fill a vital gap in the social learning process and can serve as a social laboratory where members get to experiment with new behaviors and get feedback. Most of us secretly want to know what others are seeing in us. We want to know if there really is something that we're doing that's repelling others and preventing the connection that we crave from developing. Group therapy consistently provides that opportunity. As members get to know us, they get to see firsthand how we interact with other people in our lives.
Over time, Joe realizes that he resisted offering his positive feelings toward others because it left him feeling vulnerable, like those feelings might get used against him. He begins to consider trying something different.
One explanation for group therapy's effectiveness revolves around the idea that the learning that happens in group therapy is experiential as opposed to didactic. Experiential therapists believe that because we originally learned these patterns through experience, the best way to shift experience is with experience. You may have read books on boundaries or communication, attachment theory, in an effort to work through these issues. It may be a subject of your individual therapy. And while many people find that this is helpful in building awareness around the issue, understanding the problem intellectually, many people also feel that it doesn't seem to influence how they feel or how they act in relationships. Experiential therapists believe that this phenomenon could be explained simply by the fact that the learning hasn't yet been grounded in experience.
Joe decides to try and share his positive feelings toward other group members, despite feeling vulnerable. Over time, Joe embodies the new experience he has had in group, one where his feelings weren't used against him. And he no longer feels vulnerable. In fact, he feels free because he no longer has to hold back these genuine feelings he was holding. Eventually, he tries this in his relationships outside of group, leading to more satisfaction within those relationships.
So, are there any risks? Most people find process group therapy to be very supportive and validating the majority of the time. But because we're all in this effort to explore our issues, people begin to come out of their shell and take relational and emotional risks. And that means that occasionally people get offended, or frustrated, or bored, or hurt. Ideally, we use these as opportunities for further exploration and growth, but that doesn't mean the stimulus never occurred. Compared to other forms of therapy, process group therapy can be more stimulating, and it is designed to be that way. If you're wondering, is process group therapy right for me at this time? Perhaps ask yourself, how full is your cup right now? If you have some space for a satisfying challenge that might involve some occasional discomfort, you could probably benefit. If you think a process group might be right for you, and you're curious to learn more, here are a few ways to continue exploring. Check out our upcoming video on the group agreements. This video outlines the rules that members consent to before joining a typical process group, and can help potential members understand what to expect before joining. Open a discussion with your individual or couples therapist to see how process group therapy might help you make progress toward your goals. Check out the links on the American Group Psychotherapy Association webpage. Read peer-reviewed scholarly articles, like those linked in the description below. Watch realistic portrayals of process group therapy. Keep in mind that most media content out there is created with the added purpose of entertainment, so the level of drama may be intentionally high. Links for that can be found in the comments as well. Consult with a group therapist in your area. Many therapists offer a short, free consultation where you can ask any remaining questions you have before joining a group. That concludes this introduction to process group therapy. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more content from this channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, and check back occasionally for more content on psychology, psychotherapy, and psychoeducation. I hope this has been helpful, and I wish you the best on your journey of self-discovery.